Today on the podcast, we're taking another look into the ever-growing world of firefighter fitness and some of the more incredible individuals who are bringing themselves into this space. They got bitten by the bug and just seem to be raising the level, the standard, the professionalism, the fun, and just such great authenticity of the sort of people that are in our UK Fire and Rescue Service now. Today, my guest is Helena Brown. I first met Helena a little while ago when we both found ourselves at the British Firefighter Challenge where I was hosting, and she rocked up competing for her Fire and Rescue Service. She's a firefighter here in the UK, and she just absolutely smashed it. Before joining the fire service, Helena had a career as an air steward, and she decided to change gears and follow a long-held dream of being a first responder. She's early in her fire service career, she's going through all of her apprenticeship, and she just embodies that optimism, that voracious interest in developing herself. She's got such a positive mindset. And then after she was victorious at the British Firefighter Challenge last year, we found ourselves once again teaming up on a flight out to Saudi Arabia to compete in the toughest firefighter alive. And things just kind of snowballed from there. The whole UK team just absolutely fell in love with each other. It was a great bond, teamship, work ethic, support, accountability. Helena and I kind of teamed up, and she joined me out on the course as my support runner. And then I did the same for her. So I got the front row seat at seeing her absolutely crush the first time she ever did this. I joined her for the stair run challenge, and she clinched a gold in there and came away with even more medals in the toughest firefighter alive as well. Just such an incredibly wonderful human being. And today's conversation is around, I suppose, opening up the door as an insight into the mindset that this kind of thing takes, because Helena has a lot of self-doubt. She has had her own challenges in her past, and these things still show their head in her own self-confidence at times. It took a lot. You know, people will see her out there crushing it on the course and think, wow, this person must just have a bulletproof mindset and just be so mentally savage, just getting after it every day. Nothing could affect that mindset. But you know, that's not the case. Helena works a lot on this. She does a lot of mindfulness. She gets out in the hills. She prioritizes her rest, her sleep, her hydration, her food. And this stuff isn't easy. You know, I always say there's no solutions, only trade-offs. And you do have to make choices in life. If you want to be performing at your very best, whether it's for Helena out in High Rocks or in her operational duties as a firefighter, or out there on the Firefighter Challenge course, you've got to hold yourself accountable. You've got to make those decisions. You've got to learn when to say no. And only through doing that can you really begin to stand for something that matters. You can really make a difference. So Helena will be coming back to the British Firefighter Challenge this year. Hopefully she'll be making a return to one of the podiums. But also, on what I love about her approach today and how she articulates herself is that she's really encouraging for other athletes as well. She's always ready to give advice. She's always ready to support other people. So if you look in the notes for this, you will see a link to her LinkedIn. You can reach out to Helena, and if you're thinking about doing a firefighter challenge, maybe share some tips, maybe share some advice. You would be a fool not to connect with her. And also, I want you to take away some aspects of the value of association, the people that you put yourself around. Toxic people leak. They leak into your mind. They leak into everything around you. Now that can be difficult because you can't always choose your family or even your watch, but a lot of stuff is in your sphere of control. You know, myself, Sarah, Chrissy, Helena, John, Charlie, James, Mac, Zach, Mark, a lot of these great people make time in their life to spend time around other high-performing individuals. So I'll be seeing Helena at the Women in the Fire Service, which again is another great example of putting yourself around high-performing individuals who are part of a supportive network, who want to see you win, want to see you perform, want to see you reach your goals. So there is lots of opportunities, there's lots of resources out there. I always say it's never your resources, it's your resourcefulness. Life is boring for boring people. The fire service is boring for boring people, but if you seek opportunity, if you're willing to put yourself out there, it's incredible what you can achieve. It's incredible who is there to help you. So a big thanks to Helena for coming on today, offering her help, guidance and support, but also being so vulnerable, being so open, being so honest. It's been a real privilege having a conversation with her today. I hope you take a lot from it. Please share this with someone who is thinking about going for their first firefighter challenge. You couldn't get a much better story of success on this one. And for anyone else that's coming to the Welsh Firefighter Challenge, I will be there hosting once again. That is the beginning of June 1st and 2nd in Wales. We'll put a link in there for the links as well. If you're going to the Women in the Fire Service, 7th, 8th and 9th of June, I'll be there. And then once again, the British Firefighter Challenge, the key cornerstone for Firefighter Challenge fitness everywhere in the UK, 26th, 27th and 28th. Most importantly, the 27th and 28th, the last weekend in July. British Firefighter Challenge, I will be there hosting and competing once again. Helena will be there, Christy, Sarah, John, the whole team. You cannot register for it because you missed your slot, but come and have a look, come and support, come and meet these high performing individuals and come and immerse yourself in an environment that will help you learn and grow. All of those links will be in the notes for this, but without further ado, please welcome Helena Brown.
So the British Firefighter Challenge was my first ever experience of these type of events. And the only reason I actually signed up for the event is because Chesney, who was my crew manager at the time, was one of the directors of the BFC, and he encouraged me to sign up. So I was like, oh, I don't know about this. Okay, so once I'd signed up, I was committed. And I'd say about 2 to 3 months before the event, I started training specifically for it. Realised, wow, this is tough. And I think because our brigade was hosting the event, I wanted to do well. I thought all the senior management is going to be there, so I want to perform well and do well for my brigade. So yeah, I'd say 2 to 3 months before I started training specifically for it. I put a kind of training program together and I stuck to it. And I just thought, as long as I get it under 6 minutes, I'll be happy, because that's the cut-off time. And yeah, to my surprise, I got under 4 minutes, so I was well chuffed. I do put a lot of pressure on myself, not just in like these events and sport and stuff, but in my life. Even when I was joining the fire service, I put so much pressure on myself to do well and to get into the job. Every day I was working towards that goal, doing the bleep test, doing my maths and English test, visiting fire stations. I gave it 110% because I knew how difficult it was to get in. So yeah, with the British Firefighter Challenge, I did put a lot of pressure on myself because I wanted to do well, and I think this is why other brigades invited me to. So I went to Liverpool to speak about my experience with the British Firefighter Challenge, because they apparently had an internal event, Merseyside's Toughest Firefighter, and not many females took part. So I was asked by my Assistant Chief Fire Officer to visit Merseyside and just explain my story, and I just explained it like, because I know a lot of females won't put themselves out there because of fear and doubt, and I wouldn't have put myself out there unless Chesney had like persuaded me to do so. So I know how it feels. I just wanted to share my story and let them know that, you know, I have these pressures and this fear and doubt, and you know, it's scary. You put yourself out there. There's a lot of people watching. It's hard for me to deal with that pressure sometimes. I started doing some meditation and listening to different athletes and how they cope with the pressure, because the Welsh Firefighter Challenge is coming up and I didn't put myself forward for that, and I knew I could have, but again, it's that pressure that I'm putting on myself, and I thought, let me just focus on one thing at a time. So I've got the British Firefighter Challenge coming up, and then I've got High Rocks after that, like one thing at a time. But yeah, that's me. So what I do is I like to get a lower body session in, like just focus on my legs, an upper body session, some HIIT training, obviously my hiking is very important, and I just listen to my body. If I'm feeling sore, I will take the next day off, or I'll go for a steady state cardio, like a jog or something like that, or on the bike. Just take it easy, let my body recover, go for a sauna, cold shower, steam room. So yeah, I always listen to my body, and obviously my Garmin, my body battery's low. I tend to not train them in those days. I also prioritise my sleep. Sleep is huge. I like at least 8 to 9 hours, possibly 10 sometimes if I've had a hard day's training. Yeah, sleeping, eating the right food as well, refueling your body, hydration, as you know, I speak about it a lot. The Kaiser Force machine let me down, definitely. It was a lot harder in Saudi than it was at the BFC, it just wasn't moving. And I don't have one of those to practice on. So I wish I'd practiced more on technique. But to be honest, before the TFA, I'd only trained specifically for it maybe the month before, because I was just so focused on High Rocks, and that was the end of January. And then, just first week of March, we were going to Saudi. So I had like literally February to get that training for the TFA. So I just did what I could. So yeah, the wall climb was challenging. A lot of females didn't make the wall, unfortunately. You needed some upper body strength, definitely, for that. I think that's, when you're not in your fire kit, it's a lot easier. With your fire kit on, after doing stage 1, halfway around stage 2, and then you've got the wall, that was really challenging. So yeah, Rosenbauer been absolutely great. Like, I was looking at buying my own kit anyway, and then I applied to be an ambassador for them, and I was accepted, and they invited us down to Holmfirth, where they're based, and they gave us loads of free goodies. I picked the Fireflex suit, the Heroes Titan helmet, and the Borough Cross B3 boots. really comfortable, like really nice fit, the boots, the suit as well. And yeah, it's great kit, great quality, really good quality. So, and obviously the personalised all for me, it's got my name on it. I feel really lucky. They've been great, Rosenbauer, very supportive, and they're also sponsoring my race at the British Firefighter Challenge. So yeah, that's more pressure. When I signed up to the Firefighter Challenge, I did feel way out of my comfort zone. And I thought to myself, gosh, that's going to be... When I was watching the race on the Saturday, I was just so nervous and my heart rate was racing. My Garmin kept flashing up saying my stress levels are high, take some time out to relax. And I was just watching like the guys do their race thinking, oh my God, that's going to be me tomorrow. And I kept thinking, what if I make a fool of myself? And like that night I hardly slept a wink, just worrying about messing up, making a fool of myself, knowing that all our service is going to be there watching and supporting us. But I truly believe that when we take ourselves out of our comfort zones, that's when great things happen, and you just have to believe in yourself. And I do believe in myself. Sometimes it's hard to, and I keep having to remind myself, look at the great things you're doing, but it is about believing in yourself and your abilities and just having that confidence.
The Firefighters podcast was created to recognize, acknowledge, inspire, and hopefully even motivate these incredible individuals who have chosen to be part of the first responder community. Our driving purpose is to create a legacy resource for the current and future generations of firefighters and first responders. We get some incredible feedback from listeners and guests, and as the podcast grows, our desire to create longevity and sustainability means we are asking for the support of our listeners. If you want to support the podcast, if you want to get discounts to our merchandise, hoodies, clothing, coins, patches, tallies, and also access to all of the incredible documents get shared with us from our podcast guests and sector leaders, then please head over to our Patreon page, and for just £3 a month, you can support the future of the podcast. Please finally hit that follow, subscribe, or rate button on the platform you're listening, and wherever you're in the world, please support your emergency services responders, and thank you for listening.